Calhoun with Fansided MMA. Once again, I really appreciate the time. We'll just kind of get rolling here. Give me your thoughts on Mariana Moraes as an opponent on Thursday night, and how excited are you to get back to competing in PFL?
Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited. It's been a long layoff, been a long time. So thankful for the opportunity to compete. And I think, Mariana's a tough opponent. Everyone's tough until you beat them. She's, throws heavy. I think she's got good striking, and it's just going to be about me instilling my will.
And then talk to me about the development of your striking game too, because you mentioned how one of your big goals, especially in 2020, was to get more comfortable on the feet.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm there. I think one of the few benefits of COVID was not having any, 4 fights back to back. So not really a lot of camps, more just training and focusing on getting better. And I think that my striking was able to evolve exponentially during that time. I don't know if we'll ever see it, just because, the game plan remains the same. But I do feel comfortable that if I were to have to strike, it's these girls' job, in my opinion, to make me strike. And if I have to, I feel like I'll be fine.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you feel that taking a fight in Invicta late last year kind of gave you more momentum heading into this new season in PFL?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just like one of the toughest things as an athlete in your prime is to be told that you can't compete,
Right.
And it wasn't because of an injury. It wasn't because of anything in my control. So it was very frustrating. And I'm thankful that Invicta and PFL and I were able to work something out and get a little bit of that ring rust off and just continue to get better. One of the things you can't emulate is fighting. I mean, it's really, right. No matter how much you spar, no matter how much you train, there's no feeling quite like fight night,
Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about your experience transitioning from judo to MMA and what that's been like and the challenges that come with it. I remember you mentioning in a past interview that Ronda Rousey had a really big impact on making that change.
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of always had a little bit of a Ronda complex, I would say. I moved to Boston when I was 16 to train for the Olympics, and she was the top dog there at the time. And I took my beatings and climbed through the ranks and ended up surpassing, kind of what she had accomplished in judo. But it was always sort of like anything she can do, I want to do better. But I also just saw how wildly successful she was in MMA, and I saw the platform that she was given, and I was like, well, I can do that. I know I can do that. So yeah, I mean, she definitely played a big role in it, but also just like the whole what if, I didn't want to be 50 years old looking back on my life and thinking, man, what if I had done that? What if I had tried it? And I really felt like I was done with judo. I was burnt out. I had accomplished everything I wanted to accomplish twice, but I didn't feel like that athletic flame, that fire was quite put out. So I jumped in, and I never could have expected how much I love it.
Absolutely. And what are your thoughts on Claressa Shields making the transition from boxing to MMA?
Yeah, I'm pumped for it. I think it's a great move for her business-wise, career-wise. I think she's kind of at the point I was at in judo where she's climbed all those mountains and she's looking for a challenge, and she's younger than me. So I think that the sky's the limit for her, and I'm really looking forward to watching her compete and seeing her develop as a fighter.
Now, of course, you train at American Top Team, and just kind of talk about the impact that that's had on your career and the relationships that you've built from that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I'm very grateful that that's where I wound up. I've made my roots there. I have a house there now. It's, the best, in my opinion, the best gym in the world. The training is second to none. The training partners are second to none. My coaches, I feel like, are the best coaches in the world. And if you want to be the best, you have to train with the best. So I'm the team captain, so kind of a big deal over there. Right. I mean, I don't know. I just, I don't know. 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 I don't it's kind of the perfect storm, like
Right.
it's just like the perfect, I'm so happy there. I couldn't say enough good things about it.
And you often talk a lot about your mentality and your mindset when you're competing too. Kind of talk about where that mentality of win at all costs originated from and how that's evolved over time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've just always been kind of a little crazy, I think. Since I was a young kid. Like I was the kid that cried if she lost, and I did a lot. I lost a
Mm,
lot. I wasn't naturally gifted or anything like that, but I was also the kid that was like, no, we're going again. No, we're going again. No, we're going again. Like I just never would accept defeat. And that's something that's very internal. It's something that no one taught to me. I didn't, my family's not super athletic or competitive or anything like that. It's just, I guess the way I am, how I tick.
right.
It's what makes me me though. And I'm super grateful for it because, um, I don't know. I think all the people I know who are truly happy and truly successful strive for excellence, in
Yeah.
everything that they do. And when I do that, I feel very at peace. And you know, I feel that now, and I feel that with MMA, and I feel that with my career. And I mean, I'm the girl that, like, I'm 30 years old and I still race to
Right.
the car. Like,
Yeah.
like I guess I'm different.
Yeah, absolutely. The impact that you've made outside of athletics is definitely well documented with your Fearless Foundation. Kind of tell me a little bit about your foundation and some of
Sure.
the goals that you have for it going forward too.
Absolutely. So I was sexually abused by my first judo coach. And for me, it was obviously, for anyone, that's a life-changing experience. It's something that's very prevalent in our society. 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys will be sexually assaulted before the age of 18. Um, and really, it all kind of started not by accident, but kind of just by chance. Like I didn't really, when I moved to Boston, I was 16. I had just told my mom what happened. She pressed charges. The FBI got involved. He served 10 years in federal prison. But I was kind of left reeling from all of it. I was an emotional wreck. And um, it was only through judo and through my teammates and through having a goal and all of those things that I was able to kind of drag myself out of this suicidal, just PTSD mess. And I had never really shared my story. I hadn't really talked about it. Everyone in the judo community knew, I mean, it's like, it was impossible. It's a very small community, so everyone
Right.
knew, but we never really talked about it. And I went to do an interview before the Olympics with USA Today, and the reporter kind of asked me, like, Jimmy just said that you've been through a lot to get here. Do you want to talk about it? And um, that was actually right around the time when the Jerry Sandusky scandal was happening. And I remember the night before my interview, I got in a fight with my best friend because she had posted something on Facebook about Joe Paterno losing his job. And I saw in the news that kids were rioting and flipping cars and setting fire to stuff about a football coach losing his job. But I couldn't believe that I lived in a society where my peers were rioting about a football coach losing his job, but not about the countless victims whose lives had been forever changed by this man. Um, and so I decided to share my story, and I realized that they're not saying anything because they don't, like, it doesn't have a name, it doesn't have a voice. There's no, um, I basically haven't shut up since. But after the Olympics, I was like, you win the Olympics, you get a gold medal, your life changes. And if you're a track athlete or a gymnast or a swimmer, you're going to all these media outlets and doing all these shows and going to all these fancy parties. And I was doing some of that, but my phone was ringing off the hook with, something similar happened to my daughter. Could you talk to her? Or would you be comfortable talking to, the community center here? Would you come
Right.
speak at my school? Or there's this organization here we have in Kansas. Or can you come speak at rape prevention crisis fundraiser. I was just over and over again. And I very quickly realized that there's a lot of grassroots regional groups who are doing super amazing work, and like they're in the trenches, they're in the mud, they're in the thick of it, they're working with survivors, they're trying to educate. But there wasn't like a Live Strong or a Susan G. Komen. There's no big organization that is saying, okay, we're going to tackle sexual abuse, child sexual abuse, and we're going to change the landscape. We're going to change the way our society views it, the way they talk about it, how they deal with it. And so that's what the Fearless Foundation is. That's my goal for it, is to use what happened to me as a way to change the world. I truly believe everything happens for a reason. And I believe I was given the opportunity to win gold medals and have this big platform. And that's one of the reasons I chose to do MMA, because I saw the reach and the eyes and the audience. And I said, hey, man, like, way more people watch MMA than they watch judo.
Yeah, that's true.
So the first part of the foundation is education. So I wrote a book with two psychologists from McLean Hospital, which is a renowned hospital in Boston. And it's different in the sense that it's not a textbook. It's not like, just constant medical whatever about child sexual abuse and its effects. It's also not a memoir. It's kind of a combination of both. So it uses my story as a guideline for what to look for, how to talk to your kids, what to say, and it actually uses my journal entries from the time period of when I was going through what I went through, what signs to look for, what preventative methods you can take, if this did happen to your child, what the court process is like and how you can help them deal with that. I'm pretty excited about it. And my goal is for that to eventually, not only to be in the hands of parents all over the country, but, social workers and police officers and doctors and whoever is in contact with kids, teachers. And eventually my co-authors and I would like to write a curriculum for it, and have it be taught in the school system. Like, I remember when I was a kid having all kinds of educational material on stranger danger and saying no to drugs and safe sex. And, you have all these educational materials on that, but there's no conversation about what you should do if someone close to you tries to take advantage of you. And we know that in over 75% of the cases, if you're sexually abused as a child, it's going to be by someone you know. So that's the first part of the foundation. That's really the biggest part. I mean, there's also other aspects. I mean, I have all kinds of plans and ideas for it. Awesome. It's kind of tough with fighting full time and having kids now. And it's, I'm trying to get it all done. But for now, the education is the big piece. And I encourage everyone to go buy a copy or donate a copy to a school or somewhere, and it's called Fighting Back. It's available on Amazon. Check it out, please.
Absolutely. I definitely will check that out.
And all of the profits from the book go to the foundation. Like, I'm just
awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Well, before we go, I'll give you the final word to give any sponsor shout outs you may have, and let fans know where we can find you on social media too.
Well, Fuji Sports is my big sponsor and been my longtime sponsor for many years now. So I want to thank them. Celsius, I'm working with Celsius now. So I encourage you all to live fit and check out Celsius and their drinks. They're delicious. And you can follow me on Twitter at Kayla H, on Instagram. I think it's Judo Kayla, and I think on Facebook it's Kayla Harrison, I think. And my website where you can find out more about the foundation is kaylaharrison.com.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for the time. And it was great to talk to you. And I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon. And best of luck on Thursday night.
Thank you so much. Sounds good.
Have a great one.
Thanks. You too.